Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is James. Just wanted to go over this law that just came into effect December 4th. As you can see, the IRS now has the power to revoke passports, and this has been signed into law by President Obama. It is in the H.R. 22, or the Conference Committee of Drive Act. They're calling this the Drive Act, which many people have found to be ironic because it's basically the type of thing that's driving many people to renounce their citizenship and be really tired of their own government. So basically what they're saying is that if you owe more than $50,000, or the IRS claims that you owe them more than $50,000, then they can now revoke your passport. Now, many people might think, well, that sounds like a lot of money. If somebody owes that amount of money, then it makes sense that they go after them. But there are some difficulties with this I'm going to go over here. If you look at the Americans abroad have really been vocal about this, and they put out this press release. In it, here's a part of it right here. So enactment of this legislation would come at a time when the IRS's, including collections ability to render services to taxpayers overseas and in effect help them work out their collection problems, are severely reduced. The IRS offices overseas have been closed. The ability of revenue officers and collections to meet the taxpayers outside the U.S. as a practical matter is non-existent. There are well-known problems with IRS communications sent to taxpayers overseas. So, many people have heard about this. There was a budget that the IRS, well, basically like any government agency, they want to keep increasing their budget. And when they don't get what they want, normally what they do is they cut their services, their quote-unquote customer services, and make it very hard for the public to deal with them. And you have to deal with them. So this is what they do. So they've made it pretty much impossible to work out anything. So, basically, if there are tons of examples of people that have gotten $50,000 in, IRS debt that they were wrongfully done, or maybe they did something they didn't know, and it may take them years or decades to work out this problem that it might have been their problem. Something that they did. This happens absolutely, it happens all the time. And to give you another example of how quickly it can add up, if you look at the escalation of offshore penalties over the last 20 years. So take a look at this. This is a chart that this group put together. What it shows is that, you might not be able to see the left side here, but this amounts to $2,000. So this chart shows the potential penalties for an individual with the same facts occurring in different years. So in 1995, if you had done, if you had a tax dispute, the penalties would have added up to $2,000. This exact same infraction now are in 2011, so it's going to be even higher than that. Now it's probably up here if you look at the chart. But you're looking at $70,000. $70,000 in penalties, that's not including interest. And now, so for this minor infraction, it would have cost $2,000 in 1995. Now it's going to cost $7,000, $70,000, plus interest, plus they can revoke your passport. And another thing about this passport revoking thing is they can restrict you from traveling internationally, but also domestically now. It came in, this law is going to into effect January 1st. And also, the Real ID Act is coming on. They're going to be enforcing that. And there are several states that have not gone along with their state IDs do not go along with the state ID, the Real ID Act, and they are going to need to have a passport to travel domestically, okay, in these states. Now, the point is with this $50,000, or okay, there's 4 states here and this type of stuff. The point is, this is the camel's nose under the tent. Okay, I mean, this is how things start. They never just stay the way that they are. I mean, okay, they could arbitrarily change that $50,000 to something else. They could expand this revoking passport to all kinds of things. Remember, the IRS is in charge of Obamacare now. And all kinds of things. So now, with the Real ID Act, you need to have biometric ID and to travel anywhere in the United States. Another thing that this did, there was a new precedent, is that the IRS can now hire private debt collectors. So, they can basically contract out this the collection of debt, and so there's all kinds of problems with this, and they've shot this down several times in the past. But when you have basically a government function like cracking down on somebody, or coming after, taking money from them and this, and then you want to privatize it. That's the worst form right there. That is fascism. That's what you would call fascism. So now again, this is just the camel's nose under the tent. On my website, I have posted all the people that voted for this. So if you want to go, you can take a look at the notes below this video, and you could see who voted for it. I mean, if you have nothing to do, maybe you can call them up and tell them how much you appreciate this. But I tell you what, a lot of people are very upset about this. I posted on Facebook, and you could see here, I posted this, when this came out. So IRS has power over passports it's been signed into law. Okay, so this is when it was signed into law. If you look at 64 shares, all these people, okay, how diplomatic. And so it starts. Police state, time to get my Australian citizenship and passport. Feel the love, okay? These are people who are very upset. Look, it goes on and on here, okay? It goes on and on. And people that have had individual problems and all types of stuff. And I thought one in particular was helpful. To give you an example, it says, I reached the 50,000 threshold this year through the IRS incompetence. The IRS agents tried to assert that he could negotiate all of my foreign tax credits in 2012, add penalties and interest due to a clerical error. On his error, by the way. I was able to resolve the situation. I didn't owe any money, but it took 2 months. This law is not going to impact rich people and tax cheats. Regular law-abiding folks will get caught up in this mess. So, somebody having, this is a individual example. There's all kinds of examples that I know of personally where, people have, that have problems, whether it's the IRS's fault or whatever, it's miscommunication, and now you're just stuck. You're stuck in the United States and maybe even in your own state. You can't even travel anywhere, and I think that a lot of people think that this is going to cause people to give up and go back to the United States. But, I'll tell you what, I talk to expats and people that live outside the United States all the time, all day, every day. That's most of the people that I speak to, and I have not heard anybody have that opinion. In fact, it's this type of stuff, it's this legislation that's making people dig in their heels and look for another citizenship no matter what and renounce their citizenship, And I think that a lot of people think and they know that they are better off on the other side of what's going on in the United States, what's going on with this future Trump wall or whatever they put up, and with all this other stuff going on in the United States with nationalism and wanting to crack down on immigrants and this type of stuff. This is something that I think expats are concerned about, but they are happy that they're outside of the United States. So just think of that. Although it seems hard to leave sometimes, if you are thinking about it, I guarantee you, once you are on the other side of that border, you'll feel better about it. So, anyways, thanks, and you can go check out the borderlessblog.com, and also I have a post about this in the show notes. So, thanks, and subscribe to the channel, and like the video if you enjoyed it.